update
To this?
Yeah.
I think they do this monthly, actually, with this company. This
because
company
you
is one of
mentioned
the
local schools and so forth.
Yeah.
And that's really important.
This company, that's all they do. So we went to a third-party company that does only these. And by the way, there are other companies that are buying the same information you already have. So, i.e. example, I'll give you Claw went out and just got a contract with them. When their agents already have it through Listing Book for free. So if other MLSs think it's that important for them to have within their MLS, guess what, folks? You've got it already. Okay.
And that's not the upgrade either. That's just standard.
Oh, I hate that part. Yes, it is.
It is the upgrade. That's why I couldn't find it the other day. I was when we were asking Kirsten on that.
Well, but this is a good way to actually see the comparisons. And if someone lets you log in, you can get to the community information. I'm not going to go, I'm a little cheap these days. I told you guys about the Mercedes, right? So I'll always try to tell you how to save money. Appointment list. Now, you guys have to use your imagination, but let's say I'm in the office and an agent calls me and says, I'd like to show your property on Maple. I can come in here and actually put it on my calendar, and when I do, the seller will know that there was an appointment also made for their property through their morning report. Did you guys get that? One, it'll track it down, remind me that somebody's going to come see the house. Two, it's going to tell my seller that someone's going to come see the house. And at the end of the month, I can actually print up a report of all the different types of showings that I had. Sales trends. Now, this is a great report. Now, what I try to tell everybody is that you should have somewhere in your listing book binder an actual tab of what you will do for your sellers on a regular basis because of Listing Book. Now, we all talk about what we will do for a checkoff list to our sellers, but a lot of those we actually have to remember to do them. So we procrastinate. Sometimes we'll go, oh, well, maybe they'll forget and I won't have to run that. Or maybe they'll forget and I won't have to do that. Listing Book kind of just does it automatically. So once you've set it up for your seller, guess what? Your seller's going to get that information and you're going to look brilliant because you're consistent. It's in front of their face. They're getting a report on what their activity of their neighborhood's doing with their home. So you want to make sure you talk about how you do this on a consistent basis. There's a lot of agents who just don't use this. So it's a great tool for you to go out and market it right now as a new tool and showing the sellers how you're going to work differently than the other agents. Okay. So sales trends. Let's take a look at this. Now it says show the report for all companies. Now this is throughout your MLS. If I just wanted to compare it to my company, I can. Now you guys have a company partnership. That means that we combined your inventory all into one, so it would compare it just to that. Okay. I'm going to go to all companies, and it's going to show me the areas where the property is, and it's going to tell me how many are for sale and what price range. So Mr. Seller, here we are. There's a lot for sale in this area. It would tell me what had sold, what sold in 30 days, and what sold in the fourth quarter, third quarter, second quarter, and first quarter. Now, anytime I want to know what the quarters are, they're broken down right here. Now, let me tell you, that's a quick overview of what the market's doing for them, and they love that report.
What's the area around? What does that mean?
It starts off with a square mile.
Are you putting?
I was going to say radius. Now radius is round. A square mile, so it actually does a square. Yeah, square radius, and I've actually referred to it that way, so we all know what I'm talking about. Now, listing activity. This is an awesome one. If you can take a sample with you to the seller will get what you're going to do. Well, Mr. Seller, because I'm advertising your property, I'm going to give you some stats, so you may want to write this down. Your property through Listing Book, and we have a community of 340,000 buyers. 340,000 buyers now that are being represented by agents. Now those agents also search through here and get notified what their buyers are looking for. So I'm going to be able to tell you on a daily basis how many times your property is being visited, looked at, and where did it come from. So if you take a look, if we have appointments, I'm going to be able to tell you. If there's agents who viewed it, I'll be able to tell you. If there's buyers who viewed it, I'll be able to tell you. How many agents picked this for their buyers? Mr. Seller, what this means is that an agent thought it was a worthy property for their buyer, so they told their buyer about your property. So it's interactive with their buyers. Wow. They kind of like that because they go, oh good, the buyers and the agents are working with the information that you're giving them.
Now they only know that if I send it through Listing Book. If I send it through the MLS, they're not going to know. If I send it,
correct,
they won't know.
Correct. And that's why it's important to use that number, the 340,000. Folks, back in February, we only had 60,000 people in the system. How quick did that grow? Very quickly. That's why we're the 4th most viewed real estate website. People get it. They understand that the information's updated. They get to see exactly what you do. If you remember the old MLS books, it actually said, when you had a printed out copy, it said it was a felony to give anybody a copy of it. Now you're giving people access to the same information. So it's real important that you tell a seller, again, people want to see what we see, and we're giving it to them. Okay? Now, buyers' favorites. Now, these are the buyers who really like a property so much that they tell their buying agent, hey, I like this one. So most likely what we'll do is watch this one for how many showings we could possibly get. Okay? Now, the owner's name, of course, it's not going to show up there. Then down below, Mr. Seller, these are what we call promotions within the company, or in the system. What it does is sometimes people forget our property exists because maybe it's been on the market for a week or 2 weeks. So we can go back and promote it. And we'll talk about those property promotions. It will also give you the analysis of all the promotions that you do. Okay? Now, monthly summary. This is a great report. Now again, you get to use your imagination. If I had listing book activity, everything from this tab will appear here. The appointments, everything from this tab will appear here. The competitive activity. Now this is if I assigned the property to my seller. Now everybody write that word, assigned property. And then right next to it, write seller services. So I'm actually training you at the point so that you'll know where to find this. Assigning a property is a seller service. And I want you to write below that, prospective seller or a seller. Prospective seller or a seller. That includes a past buyer. You with me on that one? And I'm going to show you how to do that. Now this will show them all of the activity that happened during that month. Mr. Seller, here's all the new listings. Here are all the price changes within the square that I designated. Somebody had asked earlier, is it a square radius? This square you can actually adjust. It's not a perfect solution, but it's a great solution. So we're going to show you how to best use this. All right, folks. Now, to get this to your seller, what you want to do is you want to go to your actual seller's files. So we'll go into the client manager. And I'm going to find somebody who I haven't designated. We're going to click on open person. I know I have no really good names. Now when I have this person's folder open, it's telling me who this person is. It's telling me what interest level. If I needed to change that, I could. If I needed to add an additional count, this is where I do it. But I was talking about seller services. So we're going to click on seller services. And the first thing it asks is assign a seller a property. Now I'm going to give you 2 scenarios. Scenario number 1. I have a seller currently that I'd like him to start to get these reports. So I'm going to find my listing in Listing Book and attach the assigned property reports so that my seller will now get this in his morning report. Okay? So the first thing I did was come here and I hit assign seller property. It's going to show me my inventory. If you notice, there's the inventory, folks. Do you see it? I find the listing that pertains to that seller. I click on it and I hit continue. Now the system's going to pinpoint that property with a square mile radius. And there it is. And it says, this is the property, this is the address, this is the listed price. We're going to give him a report of anything 20% high or low from his listed price in this area. Well, I'm going to adjust that area because I know that he's not on the freeway, so it's a couple blocks down from the freeway because this is a different neighborhood than his. And then I'm going to just pull it out a little more. And then I'm going to bring it up because he doesn't really hit that Ventura Boulevard there. Okay? So now I've kind of adjusted it. I'm going to hit save. And now the system tells me that there are 5 properties already competing with this property. Now this is a competition report, not a CMA. Okay? So that the seller starts to get a notification of anything that's going up new near his home. But notice it's still an ARD form. We don't want him to get everything, because everything doesn't compete with him, correct? But he will get everything 20% high or low of that price. And here are the 5 properties. So if he starts to click and actually view them, tomorrow morning in my morning report, it will let me know what he viewed. Let me know what he's interested in. let me know how far he